Good afternoon. Today, we are bringing you something extraordinary unfolding across the globe. While the world busies itself with New Year's resolutions that will be forgotten by February, millions are embarking on a 28-day spiritual revolution. They are celebrating not just a birthday, but the descent of the Avatar, not just rituals, but the revival of an ancient civilization, not just ceremonies, but a living science of enlightenment. This is the Nithyanandotsavam 2026, the 49th Avatara Dinotsavam of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And today, we will journey into what this celebration means, not just religiously, but scientifically and civilizationally.
Let me take you back 49 years. January 1978. Late night, transitioning into the early hours of dawn. In the spiritual heartland of Tiruvannamalai, a town cradled by the sacred Arunachala hill, under the Chitra Nakshatram in the constellation of Kanya, an event occurred that devotees believe and is cosmically declared as a descent of the Avatar, the birth of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. But this is not merely a birth story. This was the descent of Paramashiva himself in the human form, a Purnavatar, a complete incarnation, manifesting to give humanity a superconscious breakthrough. Now you might ask, what does that mean? In the simplest terms, it means this: to awaken humanity from the dream of limitation, to dissolve the illusion of separateness, to remind each and every individual that they are not mere mortals struggling through existence. They are the universe itself, experiencing itself. 49 years later, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's teachings have reached billions. Temples bearing his vision stand on multiple continents. And every year, from the 30th of December to January 26th, during the time of the Chitra Nakshatram, devotees worldwide celebrate the Nithyanandotsavam, a grand Brahmotsavam that condenses all 12 sacred festivals of KAILASA into 28 days of intense spiritual celebration and immersion. This year, the Jayanti, the peak of celebration, falls on January 11th, 2026.
Yes, the day of Chitra Nakshatra. So let us break down this 28-day spiritual marathon in its structure. So the festivities start with the sacred preparations, the Purvangam. Before the main celebration begins, there is a preparatory phase called the Purvangam. Think of it as clearing the ground before planting the seeds. Devotees worship the Kuladevatas, the guardian deities, to invoke protection and to ensure the smooth unfolding of the grand festival. There are three key rituals during the Purvangam: the Mandaka Padi Seva, which is a royal welcoming where devotees offer fruits, lamps, flowers, and ceremonial items. It's not just decoration, it's a declaration of spiritual sovereignty, signaling the presence of Guru who awakens civilizations and unites nations. Then we invoke the blessings and protection and abundance from the fierce yet compassionate goddess Mariamman, and then seek the strength and protection of Pidariamman, another powerful guardian deity. On December 28, 2025, the Mandaka Padi ceremony took place. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was received with full traditional honors and royal offerings befitting not just a guru, but the embodiment of Paramashiva himself.
Each day of the Nithyanandotsavam celebrations commemorates a specific leela, or a divine play and episode from the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These are not mere stories. They are encoded spiritual transmissions. The first day, December 30th, celebrated the advent of Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. The first day celebrates his sacred lights symbolizing the dispelling of darkness, and being a Maha Yajaman grants you and blesses you with the opportunity to be able to offer all of the sevas for that day. But what truly made day one amazing was the extraordinary satsang, the message delivered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, enlightened revelations from the source itself.
Open the door, let the breeze in. For these 28 days, every evening at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is delivering a special series of discourses titled, Open the Door, Let the Breeze In. And let me share with you the essence of the first discourses delivered on December 31st. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism introduced a concept that shatters our everyday understanding of identity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained, you are not a person in the way that you think you are. There are 3 layers of the self, the mirage self, the you in your dreams, complete illusory, like seeing water in a desert, it never existed. The shadow self, the you in the waking life, more real than the mirage, but still not the ultimate truth. A shadow existence because of something real, but it is not itself real. And finally, the quantum you, the real you, the source from which both mirage and shadow arise. This is who you truly are, limitless, unconditioned, pure consciousness. Now, most of us, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained, live our entire life just off.
Then came the thunderbolt of all of Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. You are that. Whatever you seek, health, wealth, relationships, peace, enlightenment, it is already within you. You cannot search for something that doesn't exist inside you. Your very ability to imagine it, to desire it, means it is already a part of your consciousness. So what is the problem? We have been brainwashed into believing we are separate, incomplete, and lacking. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gives a powerful analogy. Imagine a lion cub raised among sheep. It grows up bleating, eating grass, living as a sheep. One day, another lion drags it to a lake and says, look, you and I are one and the same. The cub, of course, is terrified at first. But when the lion roars and asks the cub to roar, the cub hesitates and then roars. And in that moment, the sheep disappears. The lion is born. We are all lion cubs raised among sheep. Society, out of ignorance, not malice, has conditioned us to live small. And we continue to brainwash ourselves with the same limiting beliefs.
But how do we break free? How do we awaken the quantum you? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism prescribed one fundamental practice, the Sakshi Bhava, witnessing the consciousness. Witness everything happening inside of you and outside of you. Don't react, don't judge, just observe. And here's the twist. Witness the witness itself. Observe the observer. When you do this, the first realization dawns on you. You are not thinking. Thinking is happening. Thoughts arise in the space of awareness that you are, like clouds in the sky. The sky is never affected by the clouds, the storm, or lightning. Similarly, no thoughts, no matter how intense, can truly affect you. You are the sky. Thoughts are the clouds. This is the doorway to freedom.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism then dismantled another illusion, the belief that you are a permanent, unchanging entity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism said, every 2 years, your memories, desires, and fears change. Every 10 years, almost everything changes completely. And look back honestly. Your understanding of the past has shifted. Your desires have evolved. Your fears have transformed. Yet, somehow, we still believe that we are the same person. It's like a cart. Wherever the cart has been put the last 10 years, wheels, base, canopy, rope, yet you imagine it's the same cart. even though it has been replaced. Your guilt towards yourself is based on a fiction. Your self-doubt is based on a false identity. And here comes the liberating truth. You are going to be liberated from yourself because the person who tortures you the most is you.
So let's address the elephant in the room, desire. Every spiritual tradition has something to say about desire. Some say renounce it, others say transcend it. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism offers a different perspective. Desire is not the problem. The source of desire is. If desire arises from a feeling of lack, I am incomplete without this, that desire will never satisfy you. Even if fulfilled, it creates more craving. But if desire arises from fullness, from recognizing that you are already complete and continuously expanding, then that desire becomes the compass of your life. It guides you, it guides your flowering, your expression, your contribution. The universe itself is expanding. Scientifically, it's been verified, and spiritually, it is affirmed. Expansion is the nature of existence. Purnatva, completeness, is your true nature. The Upanishads declare, Purnamida Purnamidam. From completeness, completeness arises. Even when completeness is taken away from completeness, completeness alone remains. So the teaching is clear. Do not suppress desire. Transform its source. Desires born of fullness manifest effortlessly. Desires born of lack create suffering even when fulfilled.
In the following days, in days 2 and 3, the celebration continued with profound significance. Day 2, we celebrated the leela of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, learning the Puranas. This day commemorated the phase in the childhood of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, immersing himself in the Puranas, the sacred scriptures of Hinduism detailing the happenings of Hindu history. But for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, of course, they're not stories, they are spiritual truths. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has taught us that each of the Puranas are a subjective truth, and this subjective truth can manifest with each inside of us. Today, the devotees had offered again the Alankara Seva, the Nataraja Maha Abhishekam, the Nataraja Darbar, and the opportunity as a Maha Yajaman. And each of these offerings were celebrated all across Kailasa, offered to Paramashiva himself and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes. And the new year began with the celebration of the Leela of the Rudraksha. On this day, the focus was the Rudraksha, the sacred seeds worn by Shaivites, symbolizing the tears of Paramashiva and the discipline of spiritual life. On this day, we celebrate the Leela of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, selecting the Rudraksha among all of the jewels presented and the recognition of his incarnationhood. On this day, devotees offered the Alankara Seva, the Shankabhishekam, and had the opportunity to again become Mahayajamans. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism delivered another powerful public discourse, an initiation and mass enlightenment process. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism declared, in this year of 2026, there's only one thing that you need to do. Sakshi Bhava, witnessing the consciousness, the state of witnessing. If you begin to see everything as a witness, this new year will become a new birth for you.
On January 1st, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism delivered a discourse that still people are reeling. The theme was chronic capitalism and conscious sovereignty. Let's distill the key points. The first, chronic capitalism invades your inner space. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism described that modern capitalism doesn't just sell you products, it invades your consciousness. It reprograms your reticular activating system, what is termed as the RAS, and part of your brain that filters reality based on beliefs, to constantly chase ownership, accumulation, external validation. You inhale life, but capitalism makes you exhale limitation. The second is the illusion of ownership. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed that when you age, you feel the need for ownership. But when you are mature, you understand the stupidity of ownership. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism even cited statistics saying that in 2019, 2% of the US population owned 90% of wealth. This is not just economic inequality, it is spiritual poverty. The truth is that true wealth is not what you own, it is what you embody. That is the spiritual capital.
Yes, and then the next day, on today, January 2nd, 2026, was the fourth day of the Nithyanandotsavam, and this day celebrated the leela of feeding Mahaganapati and experiencing Sahaja Samadhi, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, at just 3 years of age, fed Mahaganapati and experienced breakthrough for humanity, where the experience of Sahaja Samadhi was delivered. On this day, Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, represents the peace of perpetual completion. And Sahaja Samadhi means effortlessly natural enlightenment, living in the world while established in the witnessing state. And on this day, devotees offered the Alankara Seva, the Mahaganapati Puja, Homa, and were offered the opportunity to become Mahayajamans. And on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed a beautiful initiation and spiritual discourse. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained that our ego is an agentic AI. So we need to understand what this really means. Our ego is our internal AI agent, the organ you use to communicate with the world. Over time, this ego has started running as your own. Surrender to your ego constantly, mistaking its likes, dislikes, fears, and desires as your own. But behind this ego, your real self awaits in samadhi. Now, we need to understand one more misunderstanding by most of us. Our fear is just misunderstood excitement. When something seems to be too good to be true, we immediately think there must be a catch. This is brainwashing. This is Now, we all need to understand one of the most practical teachings from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Fear is just misunderstood excitement. When something seems too good to be true, we immediately think there must be a catch. This is brainwashing. This is fear masquerading as caution. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism urged us, practice samadhi, witness the consciousness daily. Internalize this teaching. Watch how your past self, which tortured you endlessly, begins to dissolve. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave another beautiful initiation and blessing to each of us. Just for the next 24 hours, be as a witness. Whatever you want to manifest in your life will start happening. Now, this is not just a spiritual teaching, but initiation, blessing from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave one more blessing for each of us. If we practice this for 24 hours, we are able to share the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism directly on Facebook about our experiences. So take a moment to post your experiences and tag the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's profile. Now, we move into the next, why this matters beyond devotion.
Now, let us take a step back and understand why the Nithyanandotsavam is significant, not just spiritually, but culturally and civilizationally. First, Kailasa is not like any other nation. It is the revival of the united, ancient, indigenous, enlightened, Sanatana Hindu civilizational nations. In a world dominated by Western epistemology, Kailasa asserts the validity, utility value, and superior knowledge of Hindu knowledge systems, not as belief, but as science. Science of consciousness, science of energy, and science of enlightenment. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's teachings directly challenge consumerism by exposing the illusion of ownership, identity politics by dissolving the mirage self and the shadow self, and reductionist science by asserting consciousness as primary, not emergent. This is not any other kind of teachings. These are Sanatana Hindu Dharma's teachings delivered to the world by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also given the world the gift of empowerment through witnessing. The practice of Sakshi Bhava is profoundly empowering, where people feel victimized by circumstances, relationships, economies, and politics. Witnessing returns agency to the individual. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your past. You are the conscious space in which all of this arises. Kailasa operates through a network of micronations, temples, adinams, and digital platforms, and the Nithyanandotsavam is celebrated simultaneously across all of these 150 countries, from Los Angeles to Tiruvannamalai to Bengaluru and beyond. Everyone participates, everyone offers seva, and everyone receives transmission. This is enlightenment for all.
Now, as we approach the conclusion, let us return to the core understanding of this Nithyanandotsavam. Open the door, let the breeze in. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains, you have been living in a closed room, suffocating under layers of conditioning, brainwashing, fear, and false identity. Open the door, let the breeze of knowledge enter. Let the breeze of liberation flow. Let the breeze of bliss revive you. Let the breeze from Kailasa awaken your dormant consciousness. This is not just poetry. This is an initiation, a blessing directly from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So we invite each one of you to join in these celebrations, experience this 28-day feast, and understand that you also have the possibility within you to awaken the leadership consciousness within you by experiencing the Sakshi Bhava, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has blessed and initiated. So we invite each of you to join us throughout this 28-day celebrations and experience this grand celebration and initiation from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
And with this, we come to a conclusion of this segment on Kailasa News. We'll be back with you shortly for more. Subscribe and like, and we'll be back with you for more news. Thank you and good afternoon.